It's been over a month since the traitorous Pup and Hound were brought to justice, and by Lady Aribeth's request, Inquisitor General Black has made the journey north to Port Llast. Alright, welcome to Chapter 2 of Neverwinter Nights. We finally made it here. Actually, I just want to take an opportunity also to thank you if you've been following the series. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I can't thank you enough. I certainly appreciate it. But I just wanted to take, I guess, a little time and talk about a few things as we're starting a new chapter. It'll likely be a slow start anyway, as we probably have a lot of conversation to go through with some of the main characters. But starting with, I guess, statistics, I think we're about 30 some hours into the game, which is actually longer than I had anticipated. I thought it would only take about maybe 20 hours to get here, but 30 some hours. I think we're a little over 40 pages worth of notes, and I have here scripted over 125,000 words. That's something like 1,500 words per day. Not sure how I was able to do that. But I'm still struggling with getting the balance right between narrative and commentary. And if anything, there's probably still too much narrative, but I have to admit, it's just kind of hard for me to anticipate what I might be talking about in post while I'm recording, so I tend not to really say much during recording unless it's during combat or dialogue. So I'm still trying to figure that one out. Otherwise, they say that Neverwinter Nights is a 60-hour game. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but if it is, and we extrapolate, then this will probably end up being about a 90-hour game, which means we're probably about 1/3 of the way through, which might make sense, because even though there's 4 chapters, the 4th one, as far as I remember, is awfully short. So it might be balanced out by the prologue, so to say, if that makes sense. So very well could be 1/3 of the way through. Otherwise, actually I wanted to look at Lilly's character record. Of course, we've seen incremental changes as she's leveled up. But yeah, I haven't really looked at alignment at all. And I don't think that her position on the law chaos axis will change during the official campaign, and it hasn't. But it has changed on the good evil axis, which is interesting. She started as lawful 85, evil 15, which is midpoint for that alignment. Because I think lawful ranges from 70 to 100, and evil ranges from 0 to 30. So she went from 15 to 0 evil. What does that mean? She can't get any more evil. Now, I'll be honest, I'm not sure why or when that happened. Maybe it was the Shining Serpent in Fire. Though I didn't see anything in the combat log, but then again, I'm not sure that they even report changes to alignment in the combat log. But somebody knows what she's been up to. Certainly interesting. Also, I've installed the Henchmen Inventory and AI mod, version 1.08 by Tony K. Thanks again to NS13 Guardian for recommending that. Which includes Auldar's Henchmen Replacement Pack, version 0.5, and Nick D's Familiar Replacement Pack, version 5.0. So as I've mentioned elsewhere, this will help improve AI for both enemies and allies. So enemies will actually wander areas, utilize stealth, including their own animal companions and familiars, go through doors even if they're locked, possibly bashing them down if they hear the party, which I think is neat. And of course, henchmen will now be able to switch independently their weapons, so if an enemy closes, they can switch from range to melee, for example, and hopefully use their spells and special abilities a little bit more intelligently. And also, it'll help prevent, for example, Bones from attacking Lilly if she accidentally targets an ally, as happened in the Lair of the Devourer. There was also the option to access Henchmen and Familiar inventory with the mod, but I actually chose not to install that feature of the mod. Because to be honest, I think if Lilly was going to manage the company's gear, that's something would have wanted to have done from the very beginning, as we saw equipment through Chapter 1. So just going to forego that. And we'll wait for that feature when it becomes available naturally in the expansions with Shadows of Undertide and beyond. So for now, we're not going to bother with Henchmen or Familiar Inventory. And I won't discuss the other features of the mod until we actually talk with, well, Bones or Sharwin or Lanu or the like. A cheerful and eager-looking and not unattractive chambermaid is waiting by the door, perhaps to take her mistress's orders for morning feast. Of course, this is Larana, a cheerful lass. Lilly probably thought maybe she's the chambermaid, come for her laundry or with fresh linens. Ah, Lilly Black, you've awoken at last. I feel privileged to finally meet you, the hero of Neverwinter, here before me. I'm getting ahead of myself. You must excuse me, I'm so excited to meet you. Welcome to Port Llast. I trust you had a safe journey from Neverwinter. My name is Larana, and Lady Aribeth has given me the honor of greeting you upon your arrival. Well, of course, Lilly appreciates a little flattery. I'm sure she's pleased. Let me say again how much I look up to you. Well, heard of the heroic deeds you performed in Neverwinter and how you saved so many lives from that terrible plague. I know you must be anxious to speak with Lady Aribeth and begin the search for the cult. That might be news, okay? She's anxious to speak with you too. Alright, telling her that she can find Lady Aribeth and her associate Aaron Gend in the next room. Telling her to go see her right away. Wishing her well on her quest. I'm sure that you'll succeed and prove to be a hero once again. Alright, bidding her goodbye. No matter how innocent she looks, Lilly'll not trust her with the few coins she has lying about. The journey up from Neverwinter took an entire day, and she didn't even have time to unpack. Alright, so here we can see some new options then, as she's speaking with Bones. Of course, I'm gonna ask to see his inventory, but yeah, he doesn't have anything. Not sure. I'm pretty sure she had the option to tell him at what distance to stay from her. I don't believe that that's new. But yeah, both henchmen and familiars now will utilize stealth when she does, which is certainly useful. And this, of course, is interesting that he's able to tell her about chests that have been opened. And I actually won't enable it now, but I think it's an interesting feature. Not one that I'm going to utilize, but I'll try to showcase it later, maybe when we have an opportunity. Alright, but this we do need to change. By default with the mod, familiars will lose morale when facing difficult opponents. But of course, that's not acceptable to Lilly. She expects Bones to fight to the death for her. Okay. Otherwise, the girl will certainly not be getting a tip. Lilly didn't even have time to make a mess. And this rotten barracks has hardly been fitting. The furnace wasn't hot enough overnight, and the roof leaks, and this incessant racket and intolerable stink of all these mercenaries.
Please listen. I have some very important information for you.
It appears reunions will have to wait.
Please listen. I have some very important information. It is good to see you here in Port Llast, my friend. If we are to have any luck in tracking down this strange cult behind the plague, it will be with your aid, I am sure.
Alright, a very anxious Lady Aribeth coming to speak with Lilly and picking this inopportune spot. I guess looks like the roof is leaking. Maybe it's raining outside. I have to admit, Lady Aribeth looks shorter than normal. Alright.
I do not know how much you have been told about Lord Nasher's orders, I shall help you understand whatever I can, certainly.
Yeah, of course, Lily will like to hear what Lord Nasher's wishes are, but she'd like Lady Aribeth to view her as a friend now that her former love has been hanged. She's asking how she's holding up.
How I feel is unimportant next to the mission we have been given. Please allow me to explain what is required of us.
Oh, it's all business.
You know, of course, that Dester and Fenthic were associated with some manner of religious cult that was behind the Wailing Death in the city.
Alright, but she still sounds pained.
We know so little about this cult, and it would be foolish in the extreme to suppose that simply because their activities in Neverwinter have been stopped, that they have been defeated. Lord Nasher commands that we track down the headquarters of this cult and discover their plans and stop them before another atrocity is committed. Erin Gend, Lord Nasher's spy master, is here in Port Llast to help us do this, and has brought reports of many strange activities throughout the northern lands.
Yeah, Lily will certainly want to meet Lord Nasher's spy master.
It is possible that agents of the cult may be behind some of these activities. If so, we may be able to find them and discover where their base is located. Your aid in this will prove invaluable.
Alright, so the Inquisitor General has been tasked with finding evidence of where the cult's headquarters might be. But I think she's gonna press again about how she's doing, saying how it must be a terrible strain.
Aye, it is, as I am sure you can well imagine. Fenthic, my only love, dead at the hands of my lawful liege. His true murderers, however, lie invisibly beyond my reach. I wish, with such fervor that it frightens me, to see those allies of Dester pay, to see Tyr visit them with terrible justice.
Wow. Certainly sounds like she wants vengeance.
I am a paladin of Tyr, sworn to uphold good and justice, yet somehow I cannot condemn Fenthic in my heart. He meant only to do what he saw was his duty, I am sure of it.
Alright, but now that Fenthic's gone, yeah, again, I think she only, again, wants to appear as a friend so that Lady Aribeth might confide in her. So just trying to, console or comfort her.
But as a paladin, I am supposed to hold myself above such earthly concerns. I am supposed to know my path and be sure of it, just as Fenthic did, or thought he did. But I should not be distracting you from your task. My own problems are unimportant and of no interest to you, I am sure. Please forgive me.
But of course, Lily's very interested in Lady Aribeth's problems because she wants to understand her weaknesses. But I didn't think we'd be having to persuade anybody. Asking what she was going to say.
It is just that Fenthic's fate could have been mine, or yours, or anyone's. How do you know that the path you walk is the correct one?
Or it sounds like she's having some doubts.
I have never questioned my faith or my duty before, but neither did Fenthic. I feel doubt, and I am ashamed to admit it.
Alright, doubt, exactly. And that's surprising to hear that she's even questioning her faith. It's pretty severe. Okay.
Perhaps I am merely wallowing in my sorrow. Perhaps I know my path better than I think I do, but I am no longer sure. Is it wrong for me to think such thoughts?
Not if Lily can exploit them. So again, I think she's just gonna try to comfort or console her.
Am I? All my training and instincts as a paladin tells me I am not being hard enough. Perhaps it is best if I put these thoughts out of my mind for now.
Alright.
The safety of Neverwinter relies on your mission, and my duty regarding that is more than clear. Let us speak of that instead.
Alright, so asking then, I guess, more details on these missions.
Of course. Ask what you will of me.
Alright, asking what her and the spy master will be doing while she's out conducting her inquiry.
I am here to see that Lord Nasher's commands are carried out, while Erin continues to use his network of spies to gain more information beyond Neverwinter's walls. Admittedly, my own role seems sparse. Part of me thinks that my Lord Nasher simply wishes someone he trusts in this role. while another believes he does not wish to be reminded of Benthic or my pain.
That's kind of interesting, because it almost sounds like she suspects that she's been practically exiled here to Port Llast. Alright.
Regardless, we will do all that we can to help you. Do not think your efforts go unrecognized.
Alright, asking what she proposes as first steps looking for this cult.
Aaron has several ideas on places where the cult may be hidden. Currently, he is working on finding a way into the city of Luskan. Its gates have been sealed since the plague in Neverwinter began. I suggest you talk to Aaron about where these places might be. Search for any clues about the rise of ancient cults or odd activities. Once a way into Luskan is found, you can search there as well. If we are fortunate, you will perhaps encounter some part of the cult and gain information as to who they are and where they are based.
Alright. I guess Lily's probably wondering who actually has more authority, who she should report to.
Any information you discover should be brought to Aaron and myself. Once we know more about the cult, Lord Nasher can decide what to do next.
Alright. That didn't quite answer that question, though. Alright. I think it's understandable why they're not searching in Neverwinter. Asking what intelligence they have now.
Dester appears to have been their link in Neverwinter, as you discovered. But of the cult itself, we have been able to ascertain little. Aaron is positive that its true heart lies outside of Neverwinter, and that it has yet to show us the extent of its strength. The task ahead of us will no doubt be most dangerous, but that makes it all the more necessary that we do not remain ignorant of what this cult is and what it intends.
Alright.
Certainly.
I guess asking for any last advice.
I would suggest you speak to Aaron Gend and find out where to focus your efforts in finding evidence of the cult.
Alright.